I am Laura Ennis, and I'm a storyboard artist on Invincible.
Hi, I'm Matthew Carbonella. I'm a storyboard artist at Skybound.
Hi, I'm Tanner Johnson. I'm a director on Invincible.
I love being able to adapt Invincible because I love Invincible.
Invincible is a great show because it gives us so many different opportunities to do so many different kinds of scenes.
I mean, I love drama. Like, if there are tears in a scene, it's for me. I also love romance. We get a lot of that on Invincible too.
This is, I think, probably the horniest episode that we've had.
Obviously, we can't show anything, but the dialogue and the foreplay of it before leading to it, it was just enough. And then when you cut away, that's kind of what makes audiences want to see more, or like it keeps them engaged on screen.
Like right now?
I mean, we could.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Matthew Carbonella's is great, and his sequence with Amber and Mark is great. It's really adorable. Again, it's young love. It's nice to see, and he did such a good job of making that an affectionate sequence.
But yeah, doing that scene, we wanted to keep it lighthearted, so I tried to add some humor in it.
Wait, you don't have like super sperm or something, do you?
So it was fun playing with the transition of, you could kind of hint at with Will introducing the sock idea on the door, and then we cut to Amber in the mirror. Like, you already know what she has in mind, but Mark is still fiddling with his toy, like no clue what's about to happen. It was very much Amber just leading the way.
And I had the bit with Alan and Talia, and that one, it's a little bit more mature. This is a little if Carbonella's was like a hard PG-13 light R, mine was a little more firmly in the R-rated territory.
Oh goodness, tentacles.
I love my team. I work with like such incredible guys.
Right off the bat on day one, we kind of just meshed really well.
The crew on this show is truly stacked. Like, when you read off who's working on it, if you follow animation or if you're into animation, it's a bunch of killers. It's the Viltrum Empire of animation.
Working with them made the show even 10 times more fun and entertaining to be on.
Making an episode is definitely teamwork. So I think a lot of like figuring out how the backstory for Alan would be told was figured out in the writer's room.
When you asked about like the charm of Alan during his fight scene, a lot of that just came from just talking to Palmer, Laura, and Tanner when we were discussing how to board scenes. We just have a good chemistry of bringing good ideas out of each other, which was great.
And it was kind of a unique challenge on 203 to work with Tanner, our director on this episode, because the idea was that it wouldn't be told like played out in real time, but it would be like frozen images, more like a storybook and illustration.
Having kind of that Silver Agey narration, when I first read it, I could imagine the Super Friends narrator. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, kind of narration.
I had a lot of fun on this sequence. For one, Alan the alien is my father's favorite character in Invincible. So when I knew I got to do his origin story, I was like, Dad is gonna love this. So that was just kind of fun.
Probably the hardest part to balance in that scene was how to make it gruesome and violent, but at the same time, keep the audience watching.
One, in adapting it from a comic to an animated series, I thought it needed maybe some additions to it. But Robert really helped me to understand, like, that's not what this scene was about. It wasn't just a cool fight scene.
For all like the big moments that you would see in the panels, I tried to include those into the shots. The blueprint was already there for me of just how to get from the main important parts I had to hit. The challenging part and the fun part was asking myself, okay, how do I connect this?
A fight scene implies that there's some give and take. And so that was initially part of what Matthew and I were doing, that there would be this kind of ebb and flow to it. But Robert really brought me back to what it's about. He's like, it's not about that. This is a showcase for the Viltrumites and showcasing them as an unfeeling force of nature. So having this back and forth doesn't make sense.
There's no emotion in their beatdown. It's just purely objective. We want the answer. This guy's not giving the answer, so we're going to punish him for it.
And he was right. We did some tweaks. We brought it back to what that core was. And I think the sequence turned out great.
I love the characters in Invincible. It's what drew me to the comic book. It's what draws me to the scripts when I get them for the TV show.
This one's a tough one. It's like when people ask me what my favorite color is. I don't really have a favorite.
And I think that even if it is an action scene, it's never just about like whatever the big thing is that's happening on screen. It's always tied down to the characters where they're headed, what they're feeling. And I think that's something this show does really well, that like no matter what kind of scene you're given, the drama and the character arc is in there, and you just have to find it and bring it to life.
I think we dig into Amber a little bit more this season. I think Amber showed a lot of great character moments in this season. Debbie, as always in this season, is great.
My favorite character, I think, is Rex. I don't know if that makes me an asshole too, but I just think that he has the best scenes. He always makes me laugh.
It's just a whole afternoon of new friends.
I love that there are always real consequences in Invincible, which I think a lot of superhero stories suffer from, because there will be a big fight and then there will be a reset, and then you just kind of trade writers and creative teams, and it's just kind of like rehashed over and over and over again and kind of loses its punch. But Invincible, the story is always pushing forward till the end. And so no matter what happens, like the stakes get higher, and what that means for the characters just continues to evolve and grow until you get to the end, and it's a wild ride. So, well, I mean, there are a lot of things I'm excited about where the show is headed, so fingers crossed I get to board some of it.
Hey, Invincible fans, thank you so much for watching. We do this all to entertain you, and we hope we can keep doing it. Thank you for being a Skybound Insider.
I want to thank the fans for watching the show. Without you guys, I would be out of work. I hope we do you guys justice in adapting this comic book on screen, because if we aren't doing it for you, we're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Knowing I only make I'm a contribute a small piece of what all of us are doing, it's just fantastic to work with so many talented people and to get to tell a story that we're all so passionate about. Like, everyone who makes Invincible loves working on Invincible. And so thank you for watching, and hopefully we get to make a lot more of it for you.